Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I have for you a Jinzo Silent Swordsman control deck. We kind of put this together with chat during last night's stream because we ran up against something very similar, and this is the final build that I settled on and play tested all this morning. So we have double Jinzo, and we're gonna summon Jinzo by using Psychic Shockwave. This is a card from the Esperova character. Activate only when your opponent activates a trap card. Discard one spell or trap card to special summon one level 6 Dark Machine type monster from your deck. That of course will be Jinzo. But because it is a special summon from the deck, you do run into the problem of drawing into your Jinzo too early. That's why we're running Switcheroo as our skill. It also works with Silent Swordsman level 7. You put him back into the deck because you really don't want to see cards that you're trying to summon from the deck in your hand. In addition to Switcheroo, we're running 3 Marinating Captain. As you guys know, this card works like a Switcheroo. You normal summon this, send a card from your hand into the deck, then draw one card. If it's a monster, you special summon it. And once in a blue moon, you'll top deck into your Jinzo and you can special summon him that way. But this engine is mainly to get the monsters that you want in the deck back into the deck. And it also helps with drawing into your Silent Swordsman and your Power of the Guardians, which is a huge part of this deck. So we have 3 Silent Swordsmen and the 1 Silent Swordsman level 7, pretty standard, along with the 2 Silent Sword Slash. This is pretty much a given. If you're gonna run this engine, you need to run all 6 of these cards. For the rest of the warrior monsters, we have 2 DD Assailant and 1 DD Warrior. I don't have a 3rd Assailant, and I actually like DD Warrior because you can run it into stuff even if you're not gonna be destroyed by battle, and it'll banish it. It actually counters DD Warrior and DD Assailant, counter Power of the Guardians super well. So I'm really enjoying using them. I had to go up. Normally, I think before we were only running 2, but that was only 5 normal summons, and then I started breaking a lot where I wouldn't have anything for my Silent Swordsman, so I threw in the extra DD Warrior, and the deck seemed to work a little bit better. We have 2 Forbidden Chalice. It's really good. It's great against Yubel because you can attack into the Yubel, activate this in the battle phase or the damage step, and then negate their effects, so you're able to actually damage a Yubel player. You guys will see an example of that. It's also fodder for your Psychic Shockwave. Silent Sword Slash is fodder for your Psychic Shockwave as well. You can send it from the hand, then search as Silent Swordsman. So it's really easy to have the cost for your Psychic Shockwave. And then we have Power of the Guardians, which is just such a good card. This is quickly becoming one of the better cards in the entire game. If an attack is declared involving the equipped monster, place 1 spell counter on this card. The equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense for each spell counter on this card. If the equipped monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove 1 spell counter from your field instead. You put this on a Jinzo and it's super hard for them to get over because they lose access to traps. If you have a counter, they can't really destroy it with card effects unless they get rid of the counter or the Power of the Guardians first. That's why something that banishes the monster instead of destroying it, it's a great counter to this card. But yeah, this card overall is great. If you put this on a Silent Swordsman, you have your negation, and then they're gonna have to try to get over your Silent Swordsman twice, and if they do that, then they have to deal with a Silent Swordsman level 7. So the deck it's kind of unfair to go up against sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck list. Let's go ahead and show you guys some duels from this morning. And my hair's messed up. Now I'm wearing a hat, but like those little hairs in the back bother me. Alright, so we're going up against Thea Gardner. This was actually last night right before I went to sleep, and I was losing my rank. I ended up losing the rank to those bricks that I mentioned, but not in this duel. So we have Marinating Captain, we have double Power of the Guardians and a Forbidden Chalice. We're gonna marinate 1 Power of the Guardians back into the deck, and we pick up a Silent Sword Slash, which is amazing. We're gonna use Power of the Guardians to clash with the Swordswoman. We don't get destroyed, we just lose the counter. And we see a Wall Heart, but we're not afraid of Wall Heart. Pelezoic Canadia. I'm gonna activate my Silent Sword Slash. And look at this, I have a 4000 beater, 3000 defense, protected by effect once. He tries to use a copycat, but that only works with original attack, I believe. So then they scoop it up. Pretty easy win. I was really excited to use this, man, because you guys know, obviously, I'm a Jinzo guy, so anytime I can use my boy and get him out fairly consistently, it works for me. Here we're going second against Crow Hogan. And we're gonna go ahead, now that we have two Jinzos, we're gonna go ahead and switcheroo one back into the deck in case we get our trap. Power of the Guardian or Silent Swordsman. And get a free 1500. So we're going up against Karakuri. They are super spell heavy. So I'm going to negate his search right away. And he misplays a lot because, I don't know, at this point I feel like this card is common enough that you should know what he does, or you should at least read it. He tries to destroy my Silent Swordsman. Either that or he knew it was pretty much over and he was just suiciding. But I saved this because here we're going to marinate Captain, send the Jinzo back, top deck my boy Jinzo, and look at this beautiful field. We have Jinzo, a protected Silent Swordsman at 3500 attack. I mean, at that point it was overkill, but you know, it can happen. Next we got a Yubel. I wasn't sure how this matchup was gonna go because I don't really have an inherent out for Yubel other than my banishing monsters, but the Yubel is not really gonna attack, so I wasn't sure if I'd be able to win this one. But I do get the Forbidden Chalice right away, and I also have my Psychic Shockwave. So it's gonna reveal an Incarnate to get a Yubel. Sets a Fire King, obviously, so I'm not gonna attack into the Fire King. Instead, I'm gonna set my DD Assailant and make him attack into me, banishing himself. We kind of break there by picking up a Silent Swordsman. So we have to take this 1800. And we get double switcheroo in the same turn. We're gonna send that Chalice back. We got the Chalice back, and I'm glad I got my Forbidden Chalice back because I probably shouldn't have sent it anyway. I saved my switcheroo, just summon the Silent Swordsman, and end my turn. So he's gonna go for the suicide. I activate my Silent Swordsman, Silent Sword Slash early, so he takes the damage, and I'm also protected for the turn from the Yubel effect. So I'm not gonna be destroyed, and next turn I can just go for game. So we pick up a Marinating Captain. I'm gonna search Silent Swordsman level 7 just so I can switcheroo him back. And pick up a Spell or Trap, which is exactly what I needed. If I didn't pick this up with my switcheroo, I was gonna force my Marinating Captain. But after picking it up, then I can just go for the game. So we're gonna battle, attack this Yubel. He's gonna try to Canadia. We're gonna Psychic Shockwave. He changed the Widespread Ruins to destroy my Silent Swordsman, which is really smart. But this whole time I was sitting on a Silent Sword Slash, so I'm gonna be unaffected, and then my Jinzo is gonna negate the Canadia. Activate Forbidden Chalice, negate the Terror Incarnate. You take 46 to the face. GG. Yeah, so that Jinzo was more clutch than it seemed, because normally if they try to Canadia, you Silent Swordsman, you immediately activate Silent Sword Slash. Well, if he chained the Widespread Ruins to that, then my monster would have been destroyed before my card makes him unaffected. So the Jinzo played a huge part in being able to win that game right there. And here we have an okay hand, except for the Silent Swordsman level 7, but that's why we're running, you know, the switcheroo as the skill and the marinating switcherooer. So going up against a pretty standard vampire opening, I'm gonna go ahead and summon my Silent Sorcerer Suicide into my Silent Swordsman level 7. And I'm trying to bait a... the whole thing I'm doing here is I'm trying to bait the Vampire Vamp. He can use his field spell to try to destroy me with, you know, Vampire Grace. So his only out is Vampire Vamp, and I have a Silent Sorcerer. There was no point in setting my Forbidden Chalice because my Swordsman would negate it. But the one thing that you have to know when going up against Bandit Keith is if they don't use Switcheroo and you didn't see balance at the beginning, 9 times out of 10 is going to be Bandit. So Bandit works at 1500 life. That's all I'm looking at right here. I have my toggle on and I'm waiting to see if he gets to below 1500 at any point, because if he does, he can steal my Silent Sorcerer and then we lose. So he's gonna activate Takeover, go for Vampire Kingdoms to special summon Familiar. He pays the 500, and this player was good. He goes for Vampire's Domain. Even though it's negated, you can still pay the cost of a card if the card is negated. So that's what he does. He's gonna activate this. It's gonna say it's negated. He's gonna pay the cost, and now he's under 1500. So I have to chain my Silent Sorcerer to this, otherwise he's gonna bandit my card and I'm gonna lose. So I'm gonna activate my Silent Sorcerer onto my level 7. He still goes for the Vampire Vamp play, realizes he can't do anything, and then scoops it up. But you have to know, because if I wasn't paying attention, he would have stolen my face down, stolen my Silent Swordsman, and then I would have cried probably. But now we got the last duel against Tyranno, Hasselberry. And I don't think this was a Dino deck. Or was it? I can't remember.
Duel.
It's Dino DNA, so I think it was like some sort of burn deck. Oh no, I remember what this was. So I had a pretty bricky hand here. Even though I have a bunch of monsters to summon, it turns out pretty bad for me. Marinating Captain is going to get a Psychic Shockwave, which at this point is just going to be fodder for my second Psychic Shockwave. He goes Part of the Guardians on a Sangan. When you're putting a Power of the Guardians on a Sangan, then you know the card is that busted. It's like, it can even make a Sangan threatening. Luckily for me, I have DD Assailant, but I will take this 500 damage here. I'm just gonna set my monster because I know he's gonna attack with that Sangan. He gets a second Power of the Guardians on the Iron Blacksmith Kotetsu. If you're putting a Power of the Guardians and making an Iron Blacksmith Kotetsu threatening, then you know the card is way too good. But his Sangan is gonna get banished. He gets no search and loses his field spell. But I'm gonna take another 1000 damage. Now I can use my Switcheroo, at least send that bricky Silent Swordsman level 7, and we pick up a DD Warrior, which is great. I can just attack into this, banish him, get rid of his Power of the Guardians, and you know, still be at a good spot. He activates Dimensional Prison. That puts me at an even better spot because I can activate my Psychic Shockwave, get my boy Jinzo out here, negating that Dimensional Prison. We're gonna banish the monster, get rid of that Power of Guardians, hit him for 24, and that's pretty much GG. And to top it all off, I pick up my own Power of the Guardians to show him who the better wielder of that spell is. And the answer is Jinzo. Yeah, so this deck was super fun. I believe it's pretty competitive. It does have its brick issues because, you know, you're running a lot. You're really depending on your 6 monsters, this guys, that you can normal summon. If you somehow don't get that early game, you are susceptible to being OTK'd or stuff like that. I didn't run into any Kwaki Merus. I don't know why. So I don't know exactly how that matchup would go. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description. Along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And till next time.